Yo, what's up? What's good? Let's dive right into the end of day for today. Euro USD, nothing really in here. I think today's going to be a lazy one, which is bad because I keep missing trades and it's getting to a point where it's ridiculous. I think because I'm missing out on way too much percentage with these missed trades, and it's really getting to a point where it's frustrating me because there's no one else to blame but myself, right? Anyway, I digress. Euro USD, nothing really, right? We had a pause and then just hyperbolic, parabolic movement straight up, right? Nothing to follow. Even if I wanted to buy, I would have been respecting the 4 hour the 4 hour POIs. So I was looking to buy in here, right, as it broke out of here, and this for POI is looking to buy in here to go into the next one, but didn't come back, just continued straight up, right? GU, similar vibes, right? We had an IBOS in the morning, right? POI fails, which is good, but we don't get a good entry on any POI in here, right? POI would have been down here, right? The pivot POI, you don't get the pivot, same as Euro USD, just continues higher into this swing high right here. And then really the talking point is USD CAD. For a third week in a row, I have missed a trade, which is insane, man, because I'm really starting to ask myself what the fuck I'm doing. It is insane because we have a 15-minute boss, okay? Even though the boss pretty much pulls back immediately, and in previous times, right, whenever it does this, I do assume that this is like a sweep, right? Instead of a sustained break, we'll probably get a huge pullback, right? So of course we have the start of the pullback there. This would have been an IBOS in here, and then Asian session, start of the session today, we had an IBOS right there. We had an IBOS right there, POI, which was the reaction right from this POI, which caused this IBOS. Not much, but it is a reaction nonetheless. And then we had an immediate pullback in, drops down, and then comes out here, comes back up, valid 5-minute entry in there. I think this was a 50-50 take it, don't take it type of trade, because we did have it's not a weird one. I think it's a tiny bit complex, tiny bit. This shit is long. Supposed to start here, going up there. So after we had the break, right, IBOS, and then the internal is bearish, right? The swing is bearish. Obviously, the bearish plays are going to be higher probability. Once we had an IBOS there, we were supposed to be looking for the immediate risk entry. Once we have a break of that going lower, we either would have been looking for a trade in here, a risk entry in here, right? Take the loss in there because this was going to be a loss on the risk entry in here. This was going to be a loss in the risk entry in here, and then it would have required the focus and no fear of bringing yourself back and saying, okay, there is the pivot POI in here, right? Usually I do take the last two candles, but even the last candle still works, right? Which would then be the last POI in there. You have inducement here, and then you would have taken a 5-minute entry in here. Short position, 5-minute entry in there. And then also I think I'm gonna adjust my pro swing pro internal target, right? Pro swing pro internal target, I could probably target the swing low. I could target this before the swing low, like 4.4 1:5 instead of the normal 3R, because I did notice that with pro swing pro internal I do end up leaving a lot of percentage on the table, so probably use it to our advantage and maybe target like a 5R trade or 4. Sometimes we'll see what decision you make, but they get the amount of risk to reward that you leave on the table, man, just by not following through with the pro swing pro internal thinking, right? Maybe in this case because I thought that okay, the 15-minute had a break and immediate pullback, which doesn't make this the strongest of breakouts. Then in this case a 3R is fine, right? 3R normal R is fine. But in cases where sustained pullback, right, sustained pullback transitioning to a new swing play, then just like aim for like 5R, man, or something like that. I think that would work very, very good. That would work very good. In here with the example of the 5-minute trade in here, same, you've got an insane R simply because it's the start of the pullback, right? Start of the pullback, insane R, and then swing run, insane R. So I might have to adjust that. We'll see. We'll just take notes, and adjust at the end of quarters or something like that. But yeah, that's it, and peace.